You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Asking me lovingly to come and follow you. Here I am. Did I hear you call my name? Here I am, as you will. Speak, my God, I am ready to begin. Here I am, I come to follow you.
Good morning. I am Sister Lavina Francis Pamet. I'm a Franciscan Sister of the Sacred Heart, and I am so happy to greet you. Happy New Year, everybody. I am here in the studio at the Archdiocese of Chicago, and I am, this show is called Dare to Love, and I am hosting this right now, and my co-host is Father Adam McDonald. Dare to Love is a program that cultivates the vocation awareness in the Archdiocese of Chicago and the larger church through discussion of topics related to vocation discernment and promotion and highlighting different religious communities. And I just wanted to make the announcement of new things during the new year. I'm happy to announce I just found out that the Chicago Archdiocesan Vocation Association, otherwise known as CAVA, which is a group of vocation ministers who are serving the diocese and the wider church in terms of discernment of young people and not so young people of their vocation. And CAVA is now under the Office for Religious, and the Office for Religious, Vicar for Religious is Sister Mary Beth Bromer, who is a Felician sister. And now I'd like to introduce Father Adam, who is with the Society of Divine Word. And Father Adam, after introducing himself, will introduce our guest. Happy New Year, Father Adam.
Happy New Year, Sister Lavina, or could I say Feliz Año Nuevo, Chukmang Namoy, or Maligayang Bagong Taon. There are many ways to say it, but they all mean the same thing. We wish everyone a very blessed, happy, and healthy New Year, filled with good health, an abundance of hope, and rich blessings. It's a pleasure to have you back, Sister Lavina. As you remember, last month I was in the studio there hosting my first time solo Dare to Love, and I have to confess today I'm zooming in from the basement of my father's home here in Flint, Michigan. I've not been sent to the basement because I was bad. It's just the quietest place in the house with out phones ringing and doorbells and dogs running around. So
congratulations, by the way. Congratulations. Michigan won the Rose Bowl.
Yes, I saw it live. So
yeah.
Yes.
So I'm here in Michigan today and need to head back to Chicago later this afternoon. But my father's an avid collector of books and CDs and DVDs. So this is his collection, not mine. Kind of feels like I'm in the library today. But it is wonderful to be here. And thank you for the introduction. My name is Father Adam McDonald. I'm a missionary priest of the Society of the Divine Word. Served for a number of years as vocation director for my community, still doing that part-time, and now serving as rector or local superior of our formation house in Hyde Park, Chicago, where a number of our men in temporary vows are studying their theological degree at the Catholic Theological Union. It is my pleasure today to introduce you to a good friend of mine and a colleague of both Sister Lavina and myself, none other than Sister Connie Bach, who is a sister with the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ. And Sister Connie is zooming in today from their lovely mother house in Donaldson, Indiana. Good morning and Happy New Year, Sister Connie.
Hello, Father Adam and Sister Lavina. It's really great to be here with both of you again.
It is great to have you with us, and I'm loving the green color. Sorry I didn't think of the theme ahead of time, but I do have my coffee mug with some green, so I feel like I'm kind of in sync here. And I just have to give like a little commercial because no sooner than around Thanksgiving time, it was right after Thanksgiving, I had the chance to visit Donaldson, Indiana. So the commercial is, if you are looking for a place to get away with the Lord for some retreat, some rest, some spiritual renewal, the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ run the lovely Lindenwood Retreat Center. I made my annual retreat there back in November, was there for about 6 days. And Sister Connie, you and I had the chance to get together for a cup of coffee one morning. And it was just such a lovely place. The hospitality of the sisters, your community is so welcome. So forgive me for the shameless commercial, but we're looking to inspire people to dare to love. And one place you can reflect upon that dare is to get away to the quiet of the Lindenwood Retreat Center. So with all that said, Sister Connie, I'm super excited to ask you about a program that I know we spoke about over that cup of coffee when I was there at Donaldson last month, and that is the volunteer program for the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ, of which you are the spearhead, right? So could you tell us about how this program is working to spread hope there in the communities of Northwest Indiana?
Well, yes, thank you for asking. I'm always happy to share about our volunteer ministry. It started 9 years ago. I've worked with high school groups, grade school, college groups, and so on, along with individuals who want to get away, grow in faith, live in community, intentional community, and do service. And so one of the ways that we do that is, besides working in our Poor Handmaid ministries, is that I've connected with those living on the margins of society in Plymouth, Indiana, which is just 7 miles from our mother house. There are two motels there that are rather dilapidated, but it's the only place that people in Plymouth can find to live, besides under the bridges and in the woods where they had been living. So what we do is every Tuesday and Thursday, we feed about 145 people at these two motels. And that's how we started off. We give them lunches, packed lunches, and then also a bag of groceries every Tuesday and every Thursday, unless there's a holiday, then we kind of adjust. But and it grew from there. When you hear the stories of people's struggles and the inability to pay rent when the lowest apartment is $1,300 and they're working, at minimum wage. So our community, we're very fortunate, and we've been able to assist some people with rent, with emergency utility bills, with buying them clothes or shoes or warm coats for the winter, helping them get medicine when they can't afford it, things of that nature. So it's a wonderful way to reach out and try to give people a little hope when they are lost and trying to turn their lives around and trying to find their way forward. And so we've been really blessed to have so many people who have sort of caught our spirit and the spirit of our founder, St. Katharina Casper, who really want to serve people on the margins.
Sharing that. And as you're mentioning your foundress, St. Catherine Casper, I remember visiting your chapel there at the Mother House during my retreat, and sort of in the back corner, there's sort of a little shrine area to her. And what a tremendous place to feel that legacy of hope that she engendered, which is amazing to hear how that now spills over into the lives of the people you serve, and obviously the volunteers that you've assembled to help with this project. Could you tell us a little bit about who are the people that are drawn to assist you with this project? Is it sisters and lay people? Is it students or young adults?
Mm-hmm. All of the above. So yes, of course, our sisters are very much engaged in the ministry and very supportive. We also have a college here on campus, Marian University's Ancilla College. And we had about 27 students this past semester, the fall semester, that came and helped us pretty regularly. And of course, we are most grateful for their time and their efforts, and especially the guys who help us carry all of our totes of food and things up to the second floors at the hotels. They're both outdoor hotels. You don't go inside into an elevator or anything. So we have to carry everything up. And It can be a little taxing at times, especially in this weather. So we've been very grateful to have people come and join us. There's people that come to our mother house here for Mass on the weekends and our worship community, and some of them have joined us. And then right now we have a woman who was living in Maryland, and she's retired from the Navy. And so she's with me for the year, helping me run the food ministry. She's been doing most of the shopping and so on and so forth. So I can focus more on the individuals at the hotels that need particular help. So it's a wide variety of people, and all are welcome. And we have a great time together. It's a wonderful fellowship, and we've kind of developed our wonderful little community that gets together, twice a week, and it's been a lot of fun too.
Connie, I don't know when was the last time that you took a whole bunch of people to the border, at the border. Do you do that anymore? I know it's been a while since.
For a while, but I've been wanting to get back. So we started our first trip was down to El Paso to help at Annunciation House, and we had a wonderful group. And the energizing thing for me is where people come from. We had a woman from Iowa, a woman from Wyoming, two gals, college students from Georgia. I never know where people are going to come from who find us and just want to join us in this effort, serving people on the margins. And so we've been to El Paso, and then we've been to the Humanitarian Respite Center in McAllen, Texas, where we met people literally coming off the buses from across our border. And these people that are coming across, these are people coming across legally. They come with their papers already in hand, and they're there for a couple days while they wait for their transportation to their sponsoring family or whoever is going to be housing them and hosting them. But then we also, as part of that humanitarian effort, we filled buses and vans with all kinds of food, clothing, cooking supplies, and so on for the people. There were about 2,000 people living in a tent city across the border in Matamoros, Mexico. Yeah. And so we would go there every day while we were there. This was usually a week-long mission trip. And so we also helped in San Antonio there one time as well. So the mission trips are usually about a week long, but we haven't done one for a while. We're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with our whole immigration issue right now in the States, and trying to find the best place and way to serve. We've had people from Ukraine come, and people from, and I want to say that the people that did come across the borders in the South, they were from all over the world. They were from Africa, they were from Cuba, they were from Mexico, they were from Russia. Wow. So it was just an incredible experience to, walk alongside people from all around the world that are just trying to find a better life and hope, as we're talking about today. So we're glad that we can lend a hand when we can.
Yeah. So we're probably going to get into a break in a minute or less than a minute. But Father Adam, so if I know you have more questions, but before we go on a break, I just want to pose this question. So it's the new year, and the tradition is to think about what. And I would invite our listeners and our people who are watching this, what is your New Year's resolution? And if you want to share it, fine. We can mull about it and pray about it. But the other side of it is, so we have our resolution that we want to, like goals and things like that. But the other side of it, especially with our theme for this show, is new hope for the new year. What is our new hope for the year? I know usually it becomes a joke, like, we want peace for the world, right? And we always want that. However, I mean, in terms of hope, I would invite everyone and us as well to think about it, pray about it, and maybe at some point during this show we might be able to share that as well. So why don't we go into a break, and then Father Adam, you're going to be on for the next segment. So don't go away. We're going to go on a break.
Sometimes I wonder what this journey will bring, and you guide me faithfully to find a home in you. Here I am. Did I hear you call my name? Here I am.
Join Catholic Charities on Sunday, February 4th for the 2024 Divine Affair, a premier wine tasting event held at Chicago's Union League Club. Sample and purchase wines and craft beers from around the world. Attend a wine appreciation or beer tasting seminar while you enjoy gourmet hors d'oeuvres and fabulous desserts. A fantastic silent auction and raffle are included as well. All proceeds benefit Catholic Charities programs and services that help anyone in need throughout Cook and Lake counties. To purchase Divine Affair tickets and learn about great sponsorship opportunities, visit CatholicCharities.net or call 847-226-5697. That's 847-226-5697.
I can't imagine myself going into any other school.
Our school fosters growth by being a backbone to our family.
My kids are incredibly well-rounded. I see a lot of kindness in them on a daily basis.
One of the things I think Catholic schools do well is personalize the learning experience. You can hear joy in the classrooms.
I feel that I'm happy that I am in this kind of school.
Our school communities provide students with academic excellence and character education in a supportive and stable learning environment. Come see for yourself. Visit archchicago.org/findaschool.
Caring adults make all the difference in the lives of adolescents. Catholic Charities understands this, and our mentorship programs provide a free opportunity for young adults to spend time with volunteers who genuinely care about them. This program is ideal for youth aged 9 through 12 who may need support navigating the challenges of childhood and early adolescence. Our amazing volunteers serve as friends who help youth recognize their strengths and empower them to reach their full potential. Catholic Charities conducts a thorough background check on every volunteer, and our program coordinator closely monitors and supports every relationship. Mentoring is a fun after-school program that can help young adults build confidence and enjoy fun activities with their peers, too. To learn more, visit CatholicCharities.net or call 312-655-7970 in Cook County and 847-782-4224 in Lake County. We're connecting youth with great role models. Join us today.
Sings of the love that I found in you,
A love that dwells in all of your creation.
Sometimes I wonder what tomorrow brings. Give me the grace.
And we are back. Happy New Year again, everyone. This is Sister Lavina Pamet. I'm a Franciscan Sister of the Sacred Heart, your host. I just wanted to, take this opportunity to say Happy New Year as well to our sound engineers and techie people behind the scenes here. That's Clint over here and Mike May. Mike May is the one that always, gets at me. It's like, Sister, don't forget, submit your guests and things like that. So thank you. And the department really, they are at the heart of all. We can't do anything unless they are here. And I have learned so much over the years. From 2018, I believe, Connie, were you one of the first guests? And that was audio at that time. We have learned so much. You can't imagine. So Happy New Year again, and I'll turn it over to Father Adam, my co-host.
Thank you, Sister Lavina. And I want to echo those words of gratitude to our crew. When I was in the studio last month, they were just such a pleasure to work with and made someone who was doing this for the first time look as if he'd been doing it his whole life. So kudos and many thanks to you. And as we come back, we do welcome you back to the show called Dare to Love. As you know, we are a program that aims to promote vocation awareness in the Archdiocese of Chicago through programs revolving around vocational discernment. And so we're so happy today to continue this conversation with Sister Connie Bach of the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ. Now, Sister Lavina, before we went for the break, you were inviting us to ponder about what our resolutions would be and our hopes for the new year. So I wanted to pick up on that. That's something I've been pondering for a while now. And here's my resolution for you, and I'll share mine and leave the door open for you and Sister Connie as well. My resolution is to complain less and to compliment more. To complain less and to compliment more. I realize for a long time in my life, I've been like an advocate for consumer rights and things. I mean, I will fight to the penny, for some error in billing and things like that. And I'll be quick to complain about poor service. But rarely have I taken the step to go out of my way to compliment those who have done well or who have served well or completed their task faithfully. And my hope in doing this is that it would help me to engender more positivity in our world. If you're like me and part of your ministry is on social media, you're aware of so much negativity which pervades these spaces. And I feel like part of my call is to kind of put out an alternative narrative, one of hope, one of positivity, one of encouragement and invitation, as opposed to division and disunity. And so complain less and compliment more is part of my resolution for 2024. So I'll throw it over to you, Sister Connie, if you'd care to share what a resolution and or a hope would be for this new year.
Oh, that's awesome. I really like that. So mine would be to be a better listener and a stronger presence, especially with those that we serve in the ministry I was talking about with our volunteers, serving those on the margins. So I am a very active person and I'm constantly on the go and I always have a goal in mind and nothing's going to get in my way. So don't stop me to talk. And so that's just not a very good thing when you're working with people who really just need somebody to listen to them, to be a presence to them, to pray with them. And so that is my resolution for the year. And my hope is that will allow people to be comfortable sharing what they need to share, and to find ways forward for themselves by just having somebody in their lives that takes the time to listen and is a positive presence. So yeah, that's kind of where I think I'm going.
That's so
Thank you for sharing that, Sister Connie.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
People ask me all the time in my life as a priest, like, what's the most important thing I do? Mm-hmm. And of course, the Eucharist, the sacraments are high on the list. But I often say that above anything else, it's really trying to be a listening presence, to create that space where people can speak their truth and be held without judgment, with reverence and respect, because many times they may be questioning their own worth and dignity. And so that resonates so deeply, and that's very profound. I thank you for sharing that with us. And I have no doubt that it'll be a challenge for all of us to do that, slowing down to listen. Sister Lavina, I want to make sure we don't lose the chance to hear from your wisdom as well, if you're thinking of some resolutions and or hope for this new year.
Oh gosh, I have a list. But now listening to people, and I also read an article about developing good habits. And so I think the way for me to be able to get to my long list of resolutions and wishes and desires and dreams and hopes, et cetera, is really, in a way, it's strategic, which is, I think for both of you, that's the way to go, is to do like a simple step. I think the article I read had something to do with atomic habits, so like step by step. So I guess my resolution is to develop those step-by-step habits so that I can make space for the things that I would like to improve on, because that making space really is I feel like there are a lot of things that I could offer to others, and I can't really do that if, like, like, Father Adam, you're very busy. Sister Connie, you're very busy. We're all busy, right? But I can make space and really offer what I can give to others if I can be strategic about it. And that's the thing for me, is to focus on the little things that I can change, because I can only make space if I remove the things that I guess keep me from developing those good habits. And so my hope is that by strategically doing it, even every day, like today, I was able to get to the 8 o'clock Mass at the Holy Name Cathedral because I woke up earlier. And if I can develop that habit, that would be great. And then, as soon as we were done praying for morning prayer, then I was like off. And the traffic was better because it was earlier. So I was like, yes, the angels were with me. So there you go. But thank you. Thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And it's interesting to hear how kind of like there's a theme running across the screen today in terms of creating space for positivity, creating space for listening and truth to be spoken, creating space for priorities and focus, and making space for God in our lives through prayer and devotion. So we, again, encourage our listeners and viewers to not just think of those resolutions that'll last through this first week of the new year, but those things that will really carry you and sustain you and help you find hope and be a channel of hope and encouragement for others throughout this year and beyond. So as we kind of come full circle, we want to circle back to our conversation with Sister Connie about the volunteer program. And I was sitting here thinking during the break, I'm surrounded by my father's collection of films and music. And so if you know me, you know that I'm a bit of a film buff. I get that from my dad. And I was thinking of a film. We're probably all familiar with the film The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock. She portrays a mother who ends up adopting and bringing into her home a young homeless man in Memphis, Tennessee, based on a true story. And she houses him and helps educate him and provides a home for him. And at one point, Sandra Bullock's character, I think she's portraying Leanne Toohey is the name of the character. She's out to lunch with her friends, if you remember the scene. And her friends are commenting on how what she is doing is changing the life of that young man. And I'm always struck with how Sandra Bullock's character responds. She said, no, he's changing me. Mm-hmm. He's changing my life. And I got to thinking, Sister Connie, in what you're doing with your volunteer ministry, could you share with us how the experience is and has been transformative for you? What change has it invited in you? What hope have you discovered in this ministry?
Well, I have to admit that I'm a person of privilege, and, we were probably a lower middle class family, but we had everything that we needed. We never really went without food or clothing, or, my parents were really good parents, and I'm grateful for them every day. My parents taught me at an early age about caring for others. My mom was a Girl Scout leader, and all of my sisters and we were Girl Scouts. And, there's a song that we used to sing that has the words, on my honor, I will try. There's a duty to be done, and I say I. There's a reason here for the reason above. My honor is to try, and my duty is to love. I just remember that from when I was a Girl Scout. And my dad was a baseball coach and umpire and a basketball coach and referee. And I still remember him going around town, picking up kids that didn't have rides, that wouldn't otherwise get to play baseball or basketball, because he really wanted them, to have this joy and this experience in their life. And so we picked up on that at an early age. And I just had that instilled in me. For 3 years, I was fortunate to go to a Catholic school, and that was, part of who we were and what we did. And so, but I found that it kind of became sort of routine. And okay, yes, so I take my cans to the food pantry and I do this and I do that, but it was a nice thing to do. And aren't I a great Catholic? But in the end, what I found was I was ignoring the most important piece, and that's the person behind what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that the ministry at the hotels has, again, really opened my heart and my eyes, and made me much more compassionate. And again, just wanting to respond to the needs before us, which is another thing that a lot of our congregations, our founders and foundresses, look at the needs of the time, and we try to respond to the needs that are before us.
Right.
And that's what happened at this hotel. And so I found that the more I just spent time with people and heard their stories, I was like, I can do something. I can figure out a way to help. And I asked people to join me in that effort. And it really, it brought me so much more joy. I wasn't like this robot going through life doing all these things I was supposed to do, and checking off the list that I was a good Catholic because I gave to this this need or that need. But I got to tell you that I want to give you an illustration of a relationship that developed. And there's a gentleman at the hotel, and stop me if if you need to cut me off. There's a gentleman at the hotel. His name is James, and he came to me on a bitter cold January when we were passing out food, sobbing. And he just had like maybe a fall coat on, and it was bitter cold. I had layers and layers on, and this guy had been living in the woods, not very far from the hotel. And he just begged me, please, can you help me with a room So we got him a room, and every time we would come, every Tuesday and Thursday, he would come out and help us. And he didn't have a thing to his name. He just had the clothes on his back. But he would always come out and help us, take things up to the second floor at the motel and help us pass out food and load the bus and unload the bus. It turned out that he, over time, developed cancer in his throat. I noticed a lump on his neck, and I asked him if he had it checked out, and he said, I don't have insurance. So we took him to the Department of Family Services. We got him on insurance with the state, and sure enough, it was cancer. He went through chemo and radiation, and praise God, now he's cancer-free.
Wow.
But then his vision started getting really, really horrible, and he could barely see. And so I took him to, there's a place called America's Best. You get a free eye exam and 2 pairs of glasses for $69. Sure enough, we took care of that. But the problem was he needed to have cataract surgery in both eyes. So over time, it took several months, and it took a real team effort on the part of the volunteers, because he needed the local hospitals didn't take his insurance. Mm-hmm. So we had to find rides for him to get all the way from Plymouth, where he lives, to first it was Warsaw, then it was Fort Wayne. And so I couldn't always do that. So all the volunteers, we made out this schedule, and everybody took care of him. And now he's seeing out of both eyes beautifully. Aww. But we all have been changed because we've formed such a beautiful community, and he's a part of that. And he comes to our mother house frequently and helps with all kinds of things himself as a volunteer now. So it's changed. It's a mutual exchange. It's reciprocal, and all of our lives have been changed. So just wanted to share that with you.
That's so beautiful, Connie. I'm sorry to break this up. You actually put tears in my eyes, but we need to go on a break. Need to do my job here, but yeah, thank you for that story. So we're gonna go on a break, and then Father Adam will take over on more questions, because time is running out. Oh my gosh, we have 15 minutes or so left. So yeah, we'll be back. Don't go away.
Speak, my God, I am ready to begin. Here I am, I come to follow you. This is what I want. This is what I seek. This is what I desire with all my heart.
Community is core to Catholic Charity's founding mission. For more than 100 years, we have met people and families where they are, serving anyone in need, regardless of their faith, gender, race, or ethnicity. As our world absorbs the economic, political, and social aftershocks of the pandemic, 50% or more of the 6 million people living in Cook and Lake counties have little or no savings. They are a paycheck away from zero. We are deeply grateful to everyone in the Catholic Charities community who partners with us to alleviate the suffering of the people we serve and offer them a better path forward. We are witnessing a message of mercy and hope to a world very much in need. Learn more at CatholicCharities.net.
I am a seminarian.
The Church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534-7959.
The cemetery ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
We are back. I'm Sister Lavina, and I'm a Franciscan Sister of the Sacred Heart, here with Father Adam and Sister Connie. So welcome back, everybody. We have Sister Connie, who is the leader and coordinator and organizer for the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ volunteer ministry. And she was just sharing about a story of James, someone who has become such an integral part of the volunteer program, who himself was helped by Sister Connie and the volunteer team. So I'll give it over to Father Adam, because I know, Father Adam, you have like a whole list of questions for Sister Connie. We thought we had a lot of time in an hour, right? Well, we were wrong. Because, you know, when we get together, it's like this. I mean, even before this program was recorded, we were already like talking and, you know, things like that. And that's what happens among friends. So take it away, Father Adam.
Sister Lavina, and thank you, Sister Connie, for being our guest today and for sharing this mysterious element of how hope engenders hope. By trying to be a person of hope and spreading hope, you have encouraged in others to be people of hope who share that hope with others. So what a gift to be reminded of that. So I just want to ask Sister Connie, you know, I've known you for a long time, and I know we've probably shared these things personally, but could you share with our listeners, how was it that you first heard and or felt the call to be a sister, and kind of what led you to your particular community of the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ?
Well, first of all, as I said, I was fortunate as a young child to attend Catholic school for 3 years, and that was with the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ. And my until last month, my first and second grade teachers were alive, and it was really an incredible thing to join the same community as some of your teachers. We had wonderful stories to share. Of course, Sister Michelle, my first grade teacher, died last month, but my second grade teacher, Sister Deanne, is still living and still very much a part of the volunteer program with me. She comes every Tuesday and Thursday and helps with packing our groceries. So, but anyway, so I went to grade school for 3 years at St. Mary's, and then for various reasons that I won't get into, it's a long story, but we were put into public school for the remainder. And I like to say that that is God writing straight with crooked lines, because I'm a musician and a composer. And at the Catholic school, we did not have a music program or band or anything like that. But at the public school, I had the opportunity to learn to play trumpet. And I absolutely loved it. And I played all the way through high school, marching band, jazz band, so on and so forth, and into adulthood. And then when I was when I was a sophomore in high school, I decided to go back to church on my own. And I was very fortunate to meet two sisters. I went to the same church where I grew up. I sat in the same pew when I was in first, second, third grade, and they had a children's choir, and I was just like, oh, I'm in heaven. So I was singing my heart out, and they came afterwards and they said, wouldn't you like to be in our choir? And I said, yeah, sure I would. So I joined them. And this is another long story, but I used to get grounded for going to church, believe it or not. But anyway, that's another family funny story. But so then I learned how to play guitar from these two sisters. And that's when I started composing. I love to play guitar. I've written probably about 30 songs. Most of them have been for community events, but a couple, I think 4 of them were published. Anyway, so when I got involved with the choir, then it's like, well, wouldn't you like to join the teen club? Well, wouldn't you like to be a server? Wouldn't you like to be a Eucharistic minister? Wouldn't you like to, eventually when I got older into college and so on, wouldn't you like to be on our parish council? And so I just got very active in the parish, and I loved being around the sisters. They were so happy, so energetic, so caring and compassionate, which is where a lot of what I'm doing today comes from. And they'd say, well, wouldn't you like to come for supper? And then wouldn't you like to come for prayer? And wouldn't you like to come to our mother house for a retreat? And so the more I spent time with them, the more I fell in love with their way of life and the sense of community and the sense of hope that they gave, which is what we're talking about today. And so I've been a sister for 31 years, and I've just been very, very happy. And I know that where I am at the place where God wants me to be, and just filled with joy when I can be among God's people and fulfilling our vision and our mission, the gospel mission, but also our poor handmaid mission, to serve those, the poor and those on the margins. So.
Thank you, Sister Connie, for sharing that inspiration. Now, I have to confess, I knew about the guitar. I have heard you sing. I have heard you play at various gatherings. I think I've heard some of the songs you've composed, but I did not know about the trumpet. So I have a special request. If you can pull up that trumpet and give it a blow the next time we're together. That is awesome. And you described so beautifully how God writes straight with crooked lines. As you said, I too am a product of the public schools, and found that, without having religion class at school, it made me so much more curious to know what my fellow young people who were going to Catholic school were learning about. And so it kind of put me on fire to discover more about my faith. I'm not sure if I would have had that same degree of interest and fire if I had religion class every day and perhaps took it for granted. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, what you're sharing about, though, engenders in me another question, and that is the sense that maybe there are people listening and viewing today who are thinking about this new year, the hope that we want to engender, their resolutions. Maybe they're resolving to make a difference or make a change in their lives this year. And maybe someone is listening or viewing today who's thinking, okay, this show is called Dare to Love. Jesus dares us in the gospel to love very inclusively, very completely, very unconditionally. The 2 great commandments: love God above all things, love others as you love yourself. How are we responding to that dare? Maybe there's someone listening today who feels called to consider becoming a volunteer in your program, or who may be feeling called to learn more about the sisters. Could you share with us what would be some avenues they could follow to learn about being a volunteer or to learn more about the poor handmaids?
Sure. When I walk with women and we discern and there's some accompaniment and so on, I always encourage them, first of all, to have a mentor or a spiritual director that they can talk to confidentially and that they can trust. I think that's very important. And secondly, I think it's important to learn about a lot of different communities and to visit and to sort of try on the charism and see if it's a fit for you. because sometimes you can walk in a mother house and feel whether or not it's the right place for you, where you feel at home, or sometimes maybe not so welcome. But then another great way is to spend time with the sisters and to really get to know them, or the brothers, or the priests, and so on. And so that's another way with our volunteer program. Ours is set up, it's very flexible, where you can come and spend a weekend or a week or a month or 3 months or 6 months or a year and work side by side and live in intentional community with the sisters and really get to know us, ask questions, just experience our way of life, and allow us to learn about your life and your journey with God, and so on. And that way, then you can make a better informed decision about whether or not religious life is right for you, or whether a particular community is the right fit, and so on. So I think that's really a great way to that's a really good part of discernment.
Thank you, Sister Connie. And as I'm looking at the pages of your website scrolling on the screen, it looks like on your website people can discern either purpose, as a volunteer and or learning more about the sisters, or maybe kind of both at once. And isn't it true that many times people who serve and who volunteer with a group often are attracted to learn more about it and perhaps join? Yes. So could you give us the name of the website that they're going to want to go to?
Yes, the website for the Poor Handmaids is poorhandmaids.org. Very simple. Handmaids is all one word, HANDMAIDS, and which means servant. Mary is the servant of the Lord, the handmaid of the Lord, and let it be done to me according to God's will. That's where that comes from. And the volunteer website is very simply our initials, PHJC, and then VOL, VOL, program, phjcvolprogram.org.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Sister Connie. And as you reflect upon 31 years as a poor handmaid of Jesus Christ, congratulations. Could you share with us perhaps what has been your greatest joy as a sister these last 31 years?
I will tell you, our community is international. We're in 9 countries. And I have, again, been very privileged to have been in 7 of those countries. And right now I'm working on a committee. It's called Vision Partners, and we're visioning for our future as we look down the road. And we just had some meetings with sisters from all around the world, and that has been such a gift to me to learn about how St. Katharina Casper's charism has been lived around the world since 1851. And we just had, about 50 sisters from other countries here, as a matter of fact, at the end of October and in November for some meetings. And I just love, I have sisters all around the world. That's like mind-boggling to me. And I keep in touch with so many of them. And, with WhatsApp and Facebook and Zoom and all kinds of technology today, that's a wonderful gift. So yeah, that's been, I've had many, many opportunities, and I'm very blessed, but I really enjoy getting to know our sisters, and I volunteered in other countries with them as well. I have volunteers that go to other countries too. So if you want to experience Kenya or India or Mexico or Brazil, or
take me with you. No, actually, my community has Brazilian sisters as well. So I don't know if I got to share with you too. It seems like I keep forgetting, because it's been a while since we all talked. And I've been taking Portuguese. And in fact, level 1, I finished level 1 last semester, last year. Oh. So level 2 is coming up for the spring semester. So yeah. And you know what? Okay, I got to tell you, we have time. And I haven't told you about this, June 8th. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to get in trouble for this, but no, June 8th is when I'm celebrating, or my community is celebrating Jubilees. and it's going to be my 25th anniversary, silver anniversary. So I went to one of the pictures that was shown where Connie is playing the guitar, with, looking really spiffy. And in the background, you probably didn't notice, is little old me, singing in the choir because, they found it. So on her 25th Jubilee, Connie invited her friends to be part of the choir, and of course, everybody else, during the Mass. And it was such a special time to celebrate religious life, really. So I haven't made up my, my invitation list yet, but that's why I was saying I might get in trouble because I just announced it in public. I'm not saying where it is. No, I'm kidding.
Congratulations,
Thank
Sister
you.
Lavina. That's wonderful. And I'll just add in, as we're talking about interculturality, the Society of the Divine Word, my congregation, serves in more than 80 countries around the world. And we welcome vocations from all of those countries. So to use your word, Sister Connie, it is mind-boggling to think of how I'm connected. But with my mission having been in the Philippines, I had been suggested for so long that after spending the last 3 years making a 1-week video reflection on the Sunday Gospel, and it's posted on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you can find it there. I call it Father Adam's Angle. And I kept getting suggested to try making a version of this video in Tagalog, the Philippine language. And for whatever reason, this week, I decided it was time to try something new, and I did it. And the reaction has been nothing short of phenomenal. Talk about just connecting with people at a different level and kind of helping me feel connected with the people in the Philippines. So there's so many different ways that God can use our gifts, our skills, our desires, our talents. We've talked about music, language today to help us connect in hope. And to tie it together with the hopes we've shared earlier in this program, that we would try to engender hope by inserting hope into our world. If you think about like a bank account, we always want to get back more than we put in, but we have to invest. So, what if we try to invest more hope and positivity into our world so that we can then reap the benefit of that and kind of engender that hope in other people?
Yeah.
Great point.
One thing in terms of hope too, it's not always like, hunkadory. I heard the word joy, Connie, when you were talking about and joy is not just, happy, joy. Actually, the other side of it is pain, or at least, part of that, because true joy really comes out of that suffering. It's part of the Paschal mystery. And sometimes it's only when you have known sacrificed or have sacrificed, just like our Lord has sacrificed so much. And in fact, just, the miracle of the sense of incarnation of God being with us among one, becoming one of us and among us and staying with us. And staying means okay, I'm here. I heard being more present, listening. We're busy, and yet the little sacrifices that we do is one of those things that you can only do out of love and with the grace of God, that we can do any of it. Because really, when we choose the path of, I guess, less resistance, instead we choose, I guess, the path that is more difficult, just not for the sake of, having a more difficult life, but more because the choices that we make really is very inconvenient. And I know that I've heard definition of community, and all three of us live community lives, and not just the people that we live with. And God bless you, Father Adam. But and God bless the people you live with. No, I'm kidding. And Connie, Connie and I live in a smaller community, but we also deal with people on a day-to-day basis with a larger community. But community can also mean taking turns being inconvenienced. I think you've probably heard of that as a definition. And out of that is that deep sense of love and joy. So one of the hopes really that I really would like to put out there to the people I love, my family, my friends, community, is the transformation that we hope for in the new year that keeps happening and, atomically, little by little, step by step, is that reconciliation from the grace of God. Because, like deep listening, those skills that we acquire, less complaining and more complimenting, those are doors that open the hearts of each person. And doesn't it require that grace of God of opening our hearts, widening that heart, enlarging our arms for, to the better to hug other people? Connie is a hugger, so and I miss that actually. I miss that, because you have that generative spirit. But the other thing is really seeing with the eyes of God, because we are, being humans, we usually what we see is that our own perspective. And I go back to what you said, Father Adam, about retelling. How did you say about the narrative? Telling new narratives, or redefining, the narrative. And to be able to do that, we have to have the grace of the sight, which is the eyes of God, and how God loves unconditionally. So anyway, I really wanted to kind of put it out there.
So well said, Sister Lavina. And I've been sitting here this whole program looking through these new frames that I got about a week before Christmas. I'm still kind of like adjusting my eyes and just resonating with what you're saying, thinking, why did I wait like over 10 years to get my eyes examined? What was I thinking, right? Well, my eyes didn't seem to be a problem, but now that I have these new lenses, it's like literally causing me to see and to notice things in a new way. So whether it's physically getting new glasses or whether you wear contacts or no glasses at all, but to try to ask God to change the way that we see. We often think about the grass being greener on the other side, right? The green that we're wearing. But it's not changing the landscape we look at so much as changing the lenses through which we look at those whom we see and what it is we see. And Sister Connie, you've blessed us today by sharing with us those that you see and recognize as your brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters in Christ, those with particular needs, but also with particular gifts, and how you have engendered hope in them. So I'm so grateful for your presence to us today. I'm grateful for your joy, as Sister Lavina reminded us, not a perfect joy born of everything being, roses and sunny days all the time, but out of the real struggles of life, you've discovered that joy and that contentment that has sustained you through 31 years. Talk about answering a dare to love. Yeah. And you've been doing that. And you, Sister Lavina, coming up on 25 years, I congratulate you, and I thank you, because your joy is we know it's contagious. We all know each other, the three of us, and we're so connected with many of our viewers and listeners. But isn't it true that in these circles and these communities, that hope engenders hope, that our joy can be contagious, that we can spread that joy based in the experience of the real ups and downs and ins and outs of life. So I'm just so grateful to be part of this conversation today, and pray that this new year will bring us all many blessings and many opportunities to be invited to see anew and perhaps see more truthfully with the eyes of God what God has created in our world and in one another.
Thank you. And again, Sister Connie, thank you so much. And please say hello to the sisters that I haven't seen in a while. And at some point, we're going to have to see each other in person. But to all of you out there, our viewers, our listeners, God bless you. And please don't forget, if you don't set your resolution, that's fine. But keep that hope and that smile in your heart. And may God bless everyone. So thank you all. And Connie and Adam, I can't wait to see you both in person. So, don't go away at some point, but we have to say goodbye on the Dare to Love show. Again, we wish to give you hope. Amen.
So much.
When I listen to my heart, I can hear you whisper, asking me lovingly to come and follow you. Here I am. Did I hear you call my name? Here I am, as you will.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.
I've traveled long and far to follow you, a stranger and a pilgrim in this world. Sometimes I wonder what this journey will bring, and you